So psychological contract talks about see, anyway, there would be a job related contract when they are selected. There would be a job related contract agreement. They both agree upon what are the terms and conditions of that. But then, if it is a psychological contract, they try to understand about what are the requirements from this particular job. What is that the employer wants? What is that the employee expects out of the job? So that has to be understood. Um, for performing the job, what is the that the employer is going to pay to the employee. So in terms of give and take, they also have to understand about, or they also have to mention about what is that they can offer to the employees as a part of the job. Then what is that the employee has to offer? The employee also has to offer all his talents and abilities and skills, so that the job is done effectively. So that kind of an understanding about the psychological contract, that should be understood. Incentives and practices relating to motivation are understand about the psychological contract. Then what is the involvement of the employee? That should be understood. The involvement of the employee. Sometimes certain employees are not. Do not take the initiative by themselves. They wait until something is assigned to them. Some of them are proactive. So proactive, and then they take the initiation, and then they put in their effort, and then the work um, there in the organization. So what is the employee involvement? What kind of involvement does the employee exhibit there? Do they contribute to the job by themselves? Um, or they wait until the work is assigned to them? What kind of performance do they exhibit? See, even if the work is assigned to them, would they be taking it up? Would they do that or not? Sometimes certain employees, we see that they are so actively involved that even if the work is not assigned, if there is work present there, they take it up and then they finish that work. So what is the extent to which the employee involves himself or herself in the job? Then we see that the workforce flexibility, how flexible are they in terms of finishing the job? So the present crisis movement, we see that there is too much of flexibilities. Even if people are not being there physically present, also the work is still being completed. So workforce flexibility. um, we work from any location. Of course, now so we have this offer of working from home, but um, the employee also should be willing to travel, or things like that. How willing is the employee to willing to travel, work from some other location, move the place of work, change that place of work, and then work from somewhere else. All those things aspect about um, flexibility. See, then they are expected to work in different kinds of shifts. So the timings also could be different shifts. Then sometimes a major part of the work is done during the weekday. Sometimes they are also expected to work during the weekends. Um, See, sometimes when they are in a team, they may be expected to work individually. If they are working individually, they may be expected to work as a team. Then things like that. So any change which is made to the job, um, that flexibility, is there a flexibility or not in terms of how they are performing their jobs? Talks about workforce flexibility. So incentives and practices relating to motivation. First, understand what are the psychological contracts. That is, what is that the employer and employee, both of them, have to give and to expect. Expectation is on one hand, and the other thing is what is that they can give in return for the expectation. So if the employer is expecting the work to be done in a particular fashion, what is that he has to offer? Employee also, if he has an expectation in terms of the rewards and the payment, um, what is that he has to offer. That is give, take and expect and give. So that relationship has to be understood. Psychological contract. Employee involvement. To what extent is the employee involved in the work which is carried on? Then workforce flexibility. Then we see a reward system refers to all the monetary, non-monetary, and psychological payments that an organization provides for its employees. What do we see? The pay package of the reward system. There is a basic pay. So there is a minimum amount of pay which is paid to the employee. So for the number of hours which he or she puts in, there is a basic pay which is made. But over and above whatever is expected them to do that for the time and the tasks which are assigned, if the performance is better, they are also entitled to receive certain incentives, rewards, bonuses, commissions, etc. So there is another part of the pay which is called as performance related pay. See, some of the roles have these two categories, that is basic pay and then performance related pay, like sales and marketing jobs and all. They have there we see that they also are given a performance related pay. The performance related pay, after that we see that additional benefits like pension, company car, health insurance, transportation, conveyance, car facility provided. Then sometimes they are also provided with domestic help, etc. So those are other benefits which are as a part of the reward system. The modern approach to HR is to view people as one of the greatest assets of the organization. Examples of areas of interface include ensuring compliance with relevant laws and regulations, performance management, and appraisal. The convey the days when the work once it is assigned, so that has to be completed. But now there is so much to do with the interaction with the human being. So it has become people related. So it is now no more related to the job, but it is more to do with the people and how they are, how there is an interaction with them, how what kind of relationship is maintained with them. So people are looked as assets with the kind of qualifications and skill sets which they bring to the job. So they are looked at as people as assets. So ensure examples of areas of interface include interface of the finance function with the HR function. So what is the interface? Ensuring that there is compliance with the rules and regulations and performance management and appraisal, because the finance function um, uh, is I mean it is connected with, or it is linked with the HR function in terms of see performance evaluation is there. So performance evaluation at that time, then whether they are complying with the rules and regulations is also taken into consideration. Ensuring compliance with relevant laws and regulations, performance management and appraisal. So the benefits which are given to them as a part of the evaluation, performance appraisal. So performance management and appraisal. Then we see that what are the KPIs? KPIs in connection to HR function. So how is the performance measured? What are the parameters? What are the factors which are taken into consideration? And how are these factors measured? What are the CSFs and how are these CSFs measured with the help of KPIs. So that has to be looked into. So we see first is recruitment and selection. Recruitment and selection, if that is the activity or that is the factor which is looked into. Now, how to measure that? What is the cost of employing each cost which is incurred to employ each person? So employee hired, what is the cost per employee hired? And then what is the proportion of male employees and female employees in their respective roles? So recruitment and selection is measured in terms of what cost is incurred to select them, to hire them. What is the percentage of male female ratio? Next, if they're looking at training and development, what is the impact of training on existing KPIs? And the training is about making them acquaint with what is required from that job, and later on developing their skill set from time to time, developing them from time to time in respect to the job role which they have to fulfill. So when training and development is provided to them, is there any impact of this training on the employees? So impact of training on existing KPIs. After post training, what is their feedback? What is their how did they improve that? So that has to be looked into. Post training, what is their impact? After that, we see performance management. So performance management is on comparison of how they are performing. Performance management, appraisals completed on time. If they finish the job within the time duration, appraisals are included. They are appreciated for what work they have done, which they have completed within the time frame. Then appraisal action plan agreed and followed up. Action plan agreed and followed up is on comparison of what is assigned to them, what are the targets, and how did they complete the targets. That is appraisal action plan agreed and followed up. Then we see motivation. Motivation in terms of how is it measured? What is the turnover rate? Turnover is about the activity which is assigned to them. Turnover indicates the activity. It could be sales, it could be production, it could be whatever is the activity which is assigned to them. So what is the rate of that turnover? Then are they satisfied? So there is a feedback also collected from them, from the employees, and how did they um, answer the questions about the feedback, and what is the how satisfied are they, measured in terms of satisfaction scores. Then the reward systems talk about a competitiveness of reward system, adherence to laws and regulations. So reward system, why are we calling it as competitiveness is, see, is the reward system on par with the other competitors present in the market? So is it competitive? um, so rewards when they are announced, or rewards when they are included in the plan, they should be motivating. They should not be so small or so less that it doesn't motivate them. That should be taken as a way in a way to motivate the employees and motivate the employees to work better. So the reward should be attractive. They should feel motivated. So, and important point is it should be on par with what is happening in the industry. See, on par with what is happening in the market. If one company has an incentive plan, more or less it should be on par with that. Then they feel that yes, they are being paid on par with the market. So competitiveness of the reward system. Then adherence to laws and regulations, complying with the rules and regulations, adherence to laws and regulations. So with that, we come to the end of how the finance function interacts with HR. The last topic what we have in the syllabus is how the finance function interacts with IT. What do we see under IT? Um, First, we should understand about what is the IT system support, IT infrastructure, the cost benefit analysis of IAS information systems, the interface between IT and finance functions, finally, key performance indicators. This is the last topic what we have in our syllabus. First thing we need to know what are the meanings of IS information system and information technology IT. So we need to know what is the meaning of these two things. IS refers to the provision and management of information to support the running of the organization. IT talks about the equipment. So it talks about the hardware. IT basically is about the equipment or the hardware. IS is both hardware as well as the software. Refers to the provision and management of information to support the running of an organization. So it is software and also hardware together. It is IS information system. The IT function, what is the IT function? Is responsible for planning, evaluating, installing, operating, and maintaining the hardware, software, networks, and data centers required by the organization. So, how do they maintain their hardware, software, networking, connecting with the other systems, etc. So that is about how are they connected to the internet, how are they connected to the systems, other systems, um, the office, the systems in one location to the systems in the other location. All of them, how are they connected? The connectivity aspect of it is networks, and then how they store their data centers. So what is the backup, what is the data storage methods and procedures, how do they retrieve the data, use that, all those things. So IT function looks into every aspect of it, starts with planning, evaluating, installing, operating, and maintaining hardware, software, networks, and data centers. Then when we talk about information systems, we have various types of information systems. One such system is called as management information system. Information system which is helpful to the management. What what does the management expect? What is that they look for? They look for the summary details which have to be provided to them. MIS talks about the information which is provided. Management's expectation is that information is provided to them so that they can take better decisions. So management information system which provides information to the management. But how does it happen? How does it provide the information? It converts both internal and external data into useful information and then communicates this to the managers at all levels and across all functions so that they can take timely and effective decisions. Management always takes the decisions. So management accounting provides information. So if it is management information system, then information system also should be able to provide the information to the management so that the management can take better decisions for the organization. So such a system we call it as MIS. MIS, management information system. So it starts from gathering the information, converts the internal, external data into useful information. It processes that, it converts that, and that is summarized and presented to the management. And the management, with the help of this information, is able to take better decisions for the organization, effective decisions. We see there are types of MIS. Already we have learned about what are the various levels of management in the hierarchy. We see that the strategic level, the tactical level, the operating level. There are three levels in the hierarchy of the organization. So um, if you are looking at the organization structure of an organization, the first level is about the strategic level where they take decisions about the organization as a whole. So what kind of information are they looking at? They want the information in a summarized form, but But if there is a need to drill down on the details, if they want a certain additional details, there should also be a provision for them to look into the additional details. It's just not the summary, but if needed, they should also be provided with the facility to look into the other details of the organization. So, um, at the strategic level, the information system which is useful to them, we call that as Executive Information System, EIS, Executive Information System. So it says that it is user friendly, internal external information for senior executives. So they plan for the organization. So this is information is provided to the senior executives. Second, the second level is the decision support system. What is the role of the middle level management? We call it as management level or the tactical level. So the tactical middle level management level, whatever this, what is their role? Their role is to plan for the implementation of the objective set by the strategic level. Whatever the strategic level decides, how to implement that has to be looked into by the tactical level. They plan for that. So for them, the system which is suitable is called as the decision support system. So it predicts possible consequences of different scenarios. Now they have to take up the planning internally. See, to achieve the objective set by the strategic level, how do they achieve that? So therefore the planning has to be taken up. So the planning has to be taken up by the level managers. So a system called as decision support system is helpful to them. So they predict possible consequences of different scenarios. Managers then use judgment to make decisions. Then we see the operational level, the implementation level. At the implementation level, we see that the transaction processing system, it is used by operational managers to make decisions. Decisions is day-to-day decisions, whatever are needed, the regular ones, so that the work can be implemented effectively. So, used by operational managers to make decisions, records and summarizes daily routine transactions. Apart from that, we have a expert system which can provide information on a specific subject or specific role. So it holds specialist knowledge, for example, on law, taxation. Non-experts from all levels of management can utilize. So that's kind of a database which is helpful for them, which can provide information about various aspects, the expert knowledge about various aspects. So others, the non experts also can utilize this, and then this kind of information system, expert information system, and be benefited. Um, it is useful for them to perform their role or jobs in the organization. So there are four different types of MIS. The MIS, which is useful for the senior management, which provides them with the summary information to the senior management. We call it as executive information system. The decision support system is a information system which is provided to the middle level management who are involved in planning for the organization from within, so that the objectives set by the strategic level are achieved. So for them, the prediction of possible consequences of different scenarios happens, and then managers then use judgment to make decisions. The transaction processing system is useful for the operational managers to implement day in and day out decisions. And then we also see that expert systems are present with the knowledge about specified areas, specific areas wherein the knowledge about that is all provided. Non-experts also can be benefited by using this information system. What is a knowledge management system? The next topic is about what is a knowledge management system. First, we need to understand what's the meaning of knowledge. Knowledge is the application of cognitive process application of a cognitive process to information so that it becomes useful. Knowledge can be both explicit or tactic. Knowledge management systems refer to any type of information technology that helps to capture, store, retrieve, and use knowledge to enhance the knowledge management process. Examples include group pair, intranets in uh, as a group when they are connected, or intranet internally when they are connected, extranets when they are connected with the external stakeholders like suppliers and the customers, that's extranet. Data warehouses where the data is stored, so that there would be an easy access to the data for performing their jobs, that is data warehouses. Decision support systems and the document management system. So these are all part of knowledge management systems. What does it actually mean? Any type of IT, any type of information technology that helps to capture, store, retrieve, and use knowledge to enhance the knowledge management process. It's called as knowledge management system. So any information technology, it refers to the hardware. Information technology refers to the equipment or the hardware. So any such technology, any such hardware or equipments are available which can retrieve, store, retrieve, capture, store, retrieve, and use the knowledge. We call that to be as knowledge management system. Now, IT infrastructure consists of the core networks, databases, core networks, how they are connected, the connectivity aspect of it. The database is a place where the data is stored, that is databases. Softwares which are used to carry on the programming part of it, the commands, the instructions to be carried out, they require software. The equipment which is needed so that the work can perform, we call that to be as hardware, and the procedures managed by the IT function. So that is all a part of IT infrastructure. The facilities which are there. So they are the networks, the databases, software, hardware, and procedures. All of them that are managed by the IT function are the facilities of information technology. So IT infrastructure. A good IT infrastructure can enable organizational transformation in a number of ways. What are those ways? The adoption of new ways of working, productivity improvements, multi-source data capture and analysis, the creation of shared service capability, digitization of information, flexible working practices, and virtual organizations. Two significant ways in which technology has enabled transformation is the increase in remote working, sometimes called teleworking or home working. So, working from home. That is the advancement in technology. Now, because of technology, people are being able to work from home. Our class is the best example. You are at your home listening to the class. I'm at my home taking the class. So, this is one best example. So, it has enabled people to operate in a remote manner. Remote working is possible. People Employees of these organizations are working from home, and yet the work is successfully completed. So remote working and the formation of virtual teams, so they are not physically present at one place, but they are formed into teams, and in a team they work though not being present at a physical location. So that is all possible with the help of technology. What are the advantages of remote working? Lower infrastructure costs. They need not set up the offices, and then the facilities like the infrastructure about the arrangements in the organization, the desks, the chairs, the tables, then all the other activities, the facilities which have to be provided, air conditioning, then all those things, then the other kind of equipment which is needed. So those things can be minimized. So lower infrastructure costs, then increased employee motivation, productivity, and commitment. When they are given that offer to work from anywhere, that flexibility is provided, then they feel free to work, they feel motivated, they feel energized to work better. So, productivity and commitment can be seen. Then it helps attract and retain employees because that facility, that feature about remote working or flexibility in terms of working is there. Many employees can get attracted. Then lower absenteeism and staff turnover. So because they are given that provision to work from home, they may not apply for leave. Lower absenteeism is seen, and staff turnover. They do not very frequently change the job. Staff turnover also would be low. Turnover indicates about the change in the work, people leaving the organization, whatever is the reason. Either they leave by themselves or the management removes them from the job. So, whatever is that, if there is a change in the job role, we call that to be as turnover. Then, what are the disadvantages of remote working? Coordination becomes a problem. See, because they are working in isolation, each one working from their home, they do not know what is the work carried on by the others. The coordination would be lacking. Then control over of staff also becomes difficult. See, when they are all present at one place, they understand how the work is being carried on, and then any control measures which have to be taken, it becomes easy to take the control measures and then implement that. So that becomes a possibility. But because now they are scattered in different places, of different locations, so um, that coordination may not be very effective, and controlling them also, because if they are deviated from their job, if they were in the uh, office, the location, then the managers and supervisors can control their behavior, they can correct those deviations. But because now the employees are working from home, to have effective control measures becomes a difficult task. Employee motivation, productivity, and commitment may actually reduce. See, with all kind of distractions when they are working from home, like they may be attracted to the television, they may be distracted by the work at home. All those things distract the employee. So employee may not find himself being involved in productive activities. There may be less amount of commitment. But if they are there physically present in the location, because everybody else is working, the employee also feels motivated to work and then achieve the targets. Now that there is no supervision, there is no one to manage his work, he may not feel motivated to work, the productivity gets affected, the commitment also may reduce. Then whatever is the organizational cultural which the organization has established over the uh, periods or years, then that would be diluted because they are not at one place following whatever is the culture of the organization, but rather they are scattered across to various regions and places. So there is a dilution of the organizational culture. There would be certain other additional labor cost to manage that, to coordinate that everything, to take it up. There may be some other additional labor cost which have to be incurred. What is the meaning of a virtual organization? So virtual organization outsource most of all functions to other organizations and simply exists as a network of contracts with very few, if any, functions being kept in house. So the organization is present there, but most of all their activities are outsourced to others. So it is assigned to others, and then the work is carried on. They are present there as a, network of activities, network of contracts. So they get connected with all the other stakeholders, but the work, the real work is not carried on in the organization, in the physical place there. So such a organization, we call that to be as a virtual organization. A virtual team is a group of people who interact through independent tasks, guided by a common purpose, and work across space, time, and organizational boundaries, with links strengthened by IT. There is a group, but they interact through independent tasks, guided by a common purpose. They are not physically present at one place. They are all grouped together as one team, um, guided by a common purpose, and work across space, time, and organizational boundaries. They may be scattered in multiple locations, yet they are grouped together as a team. Okay, they may have different time zones, they may be present in different geographical areas. In spite of that, they would be teamed together, called as a virtual team. Then what is the cost and benefits of information system? The finance function can assist the IT function in carrying out a cost benefit analysis to decide whether the potential benefits of a new IS system just justify the cost. So I've been mentioning about any new system, understand about what's the cost incurred and what benefits can be derived out of that cost which is incurred. So a cost benefit analysis has to be taken up about the information system. What is the cost which is incurred for the information system and what benefits can be derived out of that? So analysis about cost benefit also has to be taken up. So that is applicable for every situation, cost benefit analysis. Then, because this is about information systems, information technology, because they're connected with multiple systems, they're connected with the internet, there are many stakeholders with whom they are connected. So there are certain issues which arise in terms of privacy and security. There are threats and what solutions are present there. In case if there are natural disasters, so if there are natural disasters, if that particular area is prone to facing natural disasters like um, floods are there, then we see that area is subject to very frequently earthquakes happening, etc. So there are, if there are natural disasters in that particular region where the organization is set up, so what solution, so they should also be prepared with facing that or solving that particular disaster. Fire procedures like in case if there is a earthquake happens, so how do they save their organization, or how do they minimize on the loss? The floods happen. So when they are disconnected, with the physical location on account of not being able to physically visit the organization. So there should be some procedure in which the work can be resumed back. So natural disasters, so how do they first safeguard themselves in case of a natural disaster? So there are certain procedures, fire procedures, which have to be taken up. Next, if there are not if there are malfunctioning, that is there the systems do not operate well, then the data is all stored in the internal data warehouses. So how is the work resumed back? So that is an issue. If the systems crash, they do not operate, they do not function well, then we see that there should be backup procedures. Now that we have the cloud computing, so everything is stored on the cloud. So immediately the work can be resumed back at any given point of time from any given location. But earlier, before this cloud computing, the alternative what was available with them was to take a backup of all the data which they have stored in the internal database, and store it, or put take up store all this backup information in a location which is remotely, or which is kind of far away located from the physical premises. So in case where the systems do not function, or there is a difficulty to approach the physical location because of natural disasters, still the work will be resumed back when there is a backup taken and that backup is stored in a remote location. That we call it as backup procedures. Unauthorized access, there may be certain people who are not given the access to operate them, yet if they put an effort to access that unauthorized access, so there should be certain controls as to who should have an access to the system. So restricting the access to everyone, only those that need to an access to perform their job should be provided the access. Viruses, they can have the antivirus softwares loaded into the systems. Hackers, firewalls can be installed in the system, high firewall software. Data encryption, so when the messages are decoded and then transmitted back in the coded form, at that time, unless and until they provide a keyword, a password kind of thing, the coded and decoded messages would not be able to be accessed. So that is about data encryption. Human error, so provide proper training so that there is no error, there is no mistake from their side. Then we see HR risk. HR risk is ergonomic design of workstation. So uh, the the designing of the workstation, the way in which the layout of the organization, so that should be appropriate. The way in which the people are assigned with the jobs and the work is carried on, ergonomics of the workstation. Okay. The next one, the systems architecture is the way the systems are organized together to support the organization's functions and goals. Systems can be centralized or decentralized. Then the way in which the data flow is the movement of data through process or system and includes data input, processing, output, and storage. How the data would flow from one system to another system, how it would be processed, how the output is generated, or how the data is stored, all that is a part of data flow, the flow of data for various purposes. Good data flow will result in benefits but will have an associated cost. Then big data information management. will unlock the potential value of big data, but this benefit will come at a cost to the organization. So we've learned about what is the concept of big data. Processing the data, which is big in size in terms of volume, it is big, but yet the possibility to process the data, the big data information management, will unlock the potential value of big data, but of course it will cost them. Last two topics are what is the interface or the connection between IT and finance, that and what are the KPIs, key performance indicators. Where would these two functions interact? How would these two functions interact? That is the next one. The interface between IT and finance. Traditionally, IT function and finance function worked independently, but now that we see that the technology has overtaken many roles in the finance function, now there is an interaction between IT and finance. Finance viewed IT as a cost, whereas the IT function viewed it as an asset. Collaboration was limited, for example, to establish a budget for a new IT system. But now that the modern approach is, views IT as one of the greatest assets, now technology, technological advancement, infrastructure related to technology, etc., we see that that is considered as the greatest asset of the organization, because now every organization is adopting the change, moving towards technology, technological advancement. So that is an asset. Now it is considered as an asset, one of the greatest assets of the organization, and that finance and IT should work more closely, resulting in, for example, smarter investment in IT, improvements in information security and compliance, improved data analytics, cost benefit analysis. The last slide and last topic, here we see what are the key performance indicators. So the key performance indicators, first one, if there are operational activities, KPIs used to monitor the day-to-day activity and effectiveness of the IT function. The KPIs which are used are ticket response rate. Ticket is any issue which is raised. If there is a problem, if there is an issue which is raised, there is a ticket which is issued. So that ticket response rates, how quickly did they respond to the ticket and then solve that ticket. So ticket response rates for IT issues sent to IT support. Then system technology downtime. If at all, if there is a breakdown of the system, how much is their downtime? How for how long is it unproductive? That is system or technology downtime. Then we see transformational activities. KPIs used to measure the impact of IT initiatives on decision making, about what's the cost of new technology, how much time is saved on account of new technology. If it is strategic level, the decisions at the strategic level to monitor the progress of IT function towards strategic goals. How much revenue would be generated using new technology? The technology leading to competitive advantage. How are they better off than their competitors? So these are the KPIs which are used. So with this, we come to the end of the syllabus. So the content is all done, but we still have to discuss about the MCQs which are related to the interaction of the finance function with all these functions: operations, sales and marketing, HR, and IT. So what we will do, anyone there listening to the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm. Okay. So we finished with the syllabus. Now we have the MCQs which are remaining related to how the finance function interacts with all these functions, that is operation, sales, marketing, HR, and IT. So now we have to discuss those MCQs. So what we will do is these questions which are there, the next part of it, the next section. It starts with the question number. Question number 175 onwards. So we have roughly about 40 questions which we have to answer. Since we have finished the interaction of um, finance function with all the other functions, we will take up these questions answering, but we'll take it in the in tomorrow's class. So tomorrow we will make it as last teaching day, teaching class. So then after tomorrow is Tuesday. After tomorrow, what we will do is we will gather again on Friday. Friday, you do a test so that I will also understand to what extent did you understand. So maybe five marks questions I will give five or six so that you can write that. Small answers only. They are neither MCQ type, they are not essay type. So conceptually, I will test you how you are able to do. So you join back on Friday and then we'll take a test. Is that clear? Say something. Who all are there in the class? Amit, Karthikeyan, Niranjan, Pradeep. Okay, then